ask a question. So, here we go. So, today I'm going to be discussing what video game worlds would you dislike to live in? Now, that you gotta admit, that's kind of a funny topic for me because it's I don't, there's not a whole, because I play a lot of violent games or games where, you don't really want to live in a certain place. So it's not like it's not like I'd want to live in a lot of the places, but what the hell? I really, I'll outweigh the the cons and the pros and the cons about everything because what the hell? I'd really like to know. Well, let's see. Let's think about one of the first things that I would do. Let's talk about a game that everyone the Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, uh, Morrowind, all that kind of stuff. I guess I could live in that one. I mean, there's a lot of bad things that happen when you're. There's a lot of bad things in that world that you really just don't want to deal with. There's a lot of racism in that world, so I guess not too different than here. And then there's and not to mention that there's a lot of I don't know, there seems to be a lot of random things that can happen that just screw you over. It seems like no matter when everyone has peace, someone wants to mess with you, and so it's kind of a scary thing to want to be in that kind of stuff. But you know what? I mean, that would be. I would say that would be if ooh, that would I guess it also depends on how much you can level yourself though. I wouldn't want to live in Morrowind or Cyrodiil or anything like that. But if I had the growth potential of when I was in uh from Morrowind, where you can straight up go in and eventually be able to jump over castle walls and shit like that. You know what? I might want to I want to live there. I mean, I could you could live as a regular person like that. I mean, you could someone goes like, "Oh shit, my cat got stuck on that mountain in the distance." That you probably can't see because Morrowind can't render for shit. But if it was another game um, then you could go, yeah, sure, why not? And you could you just jump onto the very mountain itself in order to get it. Uh, and I mean that's one way I would think about doing it. Um, I suppose another thing that I could think of is it I guess it seems to no matter what time period there seems to be some shit stuff going on. So it's not like anything is wholly better no matter who depending on the person you are, because honestly it's all shit. It's all shit no matter what time period you live in. There's always some kind of big evil gonna kill everyone, or something's gonna pass on. Just thinking about if Morrowind era, I guess that's you got a god coming back that can't be killed and is gonna kill everyone. So it's like, man, I don't have to deal with that. And then if you do what do you call it? And then if you go and shoot what's the second one? I mean the fifth one, Oblivion. Yeah, Oblivion. Then it's or fourth one. My bad. You're like, oh dang, Daedra are coming to kill us all, and actually come to think of it, isn't that it's like a lot. It's like a couple of them, right? Elder Scrolls Online does the same thing. It's all about Daedra coming to kick your ass. So it's you just never really have a good time when it comes to any of that stuff. Daedra just gonna come in and kill your ass. So it seems like no matter what you're gonna do, something's gonna come to kill you, right? So yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter when it comes to that because no matter what area you live in, there's always a chance of a Jada just coming down and roasting your ass. But you know what? That's okay, I guess. I mean, it happens. It seems to happen a lot in Elder Scrolls, but uh, I guess if it's, I guess, hey, the one good thing is that if you always worry about Daedra attacking you, if that's a constant threat, that means you're never actually scared of Daedra because they're always gonna kill you, right? That's easily in your head, right? So if you're under constant threat, then it's not a problem. It's like, what were those guys in Skyrim called? The Thornheart. Like they attack everywhere, man. Like they like or Thorn whatever the 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 dudes who the dude shoot what are they, they're like the tribal dudes in the mountains. Like they're always like eventually, you just completely like you like help them like take over the damn world or the damn area at one point. So it's like if you're gonna be scared about stuff like that, then you might not ever make it in that kind of world, like that. Uh, so there's always you always worry about. There's always something to worry about in them. I mean, like, come on, in Skyrim, you gotta worry about a dragon coming down and eating your ass like right away because, man, like, I just like I think back about all the poor people who like who had to deal with like dragons and stuff just because I existed in the game as the Dragonborn. I mean, like, I guess as the Dragonborn you can fight them and stuff, but like all the regular people, like I remember I lost a lot of cool blacksmiths NPCs when I didn't expect a town to be destroyed. Like, and you're like, and you never quite know who's gonna be the the good an unkillable NPC. So it's not bad. So overall, I guess there's so much shit that happens in Cyrodiil in the Elder Scrolls universe that it's like you might as well just get used to it, right? I mean, like someone could literally just come into your village one day and just decide to like cast fireball on everyone and shit. I mean that I feel that's how it is in a lot of those games. Like, uh, and like it's like there's some in terms of mundane things though. I guess like there's nothing amazingly cool that happens there. Like that isn't like it like at least like the only like when I think about Oblivion and Skyrim, like one of the things that I notice is that like everything that you travel through, everything, it's very mundane. Everyone uses horse and wagons and like it's like there's nothing absolutely cool. But like in Morrowind, there's like giant ass mushroom houses and like instead of a horse and wagon, you can get on a giant ass flea and it's like how do you ride a giant ass flea, right? Like you gotta like hang out in its flaps or something like that because that's the only way I can think of you actually working. But yeah, so it's just one of those things where like man they really I don't know they really it's really funny about that. I guess I, I don't understand why you how you can possibly think that 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 living in Morwood isn't as cool. I mean, yeah, okay, the place blew up. Okay, big deal. Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy, the place blew up. Oh boy. Maybe that's a sad way of talking about it. But yeah, I mean, like it's not a big deal to deal with that. I mean, like if you I mean, okay, yeah, okay. Granted, in more oh wait, at least in Vardenfall where it took place, Vardenfall, I think it is. It's full of ash. Okay, yeah, you have to deal with a bunch of crazy ass beings come back to life. But that's just again, like I said before, that's just Elder Scrolls, man. Like you have those weird landscapes, but you got cool landscapes in more. Like you got all them giant mushroom houses and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, they're a lot of those places are owned by really racist clans, but like yeah, whatever. It's par for the course, right? Shoot, man, what do I? Ooh, what else? You got so many. You got these cool islands. You got Nord, and there's Dark Elves and shit like that. So, it's a lot less mundane than going to Skyrim or Oblivion. Granted, I never got far in Elder Scrolls Online, so I don't know if they made other places similarly as cool. I never played Morrowind. I was supposed to. I played OG Morrowind. Um, back in the day. So I don't really know if that, if anything was like that. But that was like, and I guess like there's nothing really, you know, out of the limits about the other places. They're just not as cool. I mean, you in fact in Skyrim, like everything's falling apart and shit. So it's like, why would I want to be here? Yeah, maybe So yeah, my thing. So overall, I think Elder Scrolls would be a nice place to live in. It wouldn't be too bad. I mean, Elder Scrolls Universe, because it's like, there's already bad shit happening around you, and you're gonna get used to it. I mean, if you survive to old age, hey, you really earned it. But true, like someone could suck out your soul and put it in a gem, and like, and your horrible life cycle could happen for the rest of your life. But hey, that's how it is. That's Cyrodiil, baby. Yeah. But shoot, what ooh, yeah, Fable, yeah, Albion. You know what? I think Albion is just fucked. Oh, because it seems like no matter what happens, there's always some force. Like there's always some war, and like nothing ever seems. There's always some war. There's always something. I mean, I would put it under the same category as Elder Scrolls, like about how, oh, we there's always something killing us, so we're gonna be sad sometimes. It's just how it is. But no, like I'm not gonna accept that this time, because in Albion, it's like it seems like very, like I don't know, everything seems very localized. Like only in 3 in Fable, I think, did stuff actually affect the entire, like, I wouldn't say world, but the entire kingdom in that game, and you had to come together. And all the other ones, it was all just like, people just live their merry lives. Like, of course, there was shit happening in town, but there's always some hero that'll come in and save everything for you. So what do you got to care for? There, you don't have to do. There's always going to be someone. Like, there was a hero for every single town, and like, and there's the heroes guild and all that kind of stuff too. So it's just like there's always something going on there. And later on, there was all you had the people, and clearly, and you never know. One day, someone might come and bring everyone back to life on a whim, like in a lot of the other parts of Fable. So it's not such a bad thing, right? And I'm sorry if sometimes I freeze. It's the it's civilization. Like it's got to think every time I gotta do it, so it just like freezes every once in a while. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So I guess so. Yeah. So I'd say that overall, Albion wouldn't be too bad to live in, unless, except when there's a huge like attack from somewhere you don't know about. Then it's like, okay, that might be a problem. But like, 3 games, man, and only happened once. Like, that wasn't a big deal. And besides, again, like, I think like they mostly just attacked the main capital. So it's like, you're fine. You stay in one of the lesser towns. Maybe you become a pirate in Bloodstone. I don't know. And it's like, man, you got a nice little life there. You got your piratey, stuff. You got your ships. You got all that kind of stuff, and you got your pirate hookers and all that kind of stuff. Sorry if that offends someone, but I'm not gonna change my mind, because that was one of the coolest parts of Bloodstone. And then you have you have a quite a it's besides the murder and the mayhem, it's quite a nice place. I mean, it's got a lot of opportunity in it, because you have people helping you want to thieve and kill people. It's always like that. There's obviously always a job available for people, because there's the I don't know, it's gonna sound bad saying this is there's you can always just the there's always a pirate crew that'll take you, and if you can't do that, you can always work on the streets. So Bloodstone is a nice place. In the end, it's good. It's good for the economy. That's the best part of Bloodstone. So, um, yeah. So like call me crazy, but I think that makes a damn good or a damn good plus to Albion being a nice place to live because yeah. Um, See, I think this whole stream is just me going like, being taken over by the government isn't that bad, and living under a totalitarian regime isn't too bad. But I'm not saying it's a good thing. But in these video game worlds, it kind of is. As long as you're a regular person, But I mean, I mean, if because it goes all the way around. If something's shitty enough, then then you're getting used to the shit. I mean, if you grow up with people dying all the time in the in those games, this is a horrible thing to say. then, you, then yeah, I mean, like yeah, I guess just fuck it. I'm gonna stick to this. I'm gonna go. What's the place in What's the place from? Oh shoot, I can't even remember the name of the game. The assassin game by Arcane. Man, God, the one with all the whale oil and the whalers and shit like that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. I'm, Dishonored, Dishonored. Yeah, yeah, Dishonored. Man, okay, you know, that's just super Britain anyway, right? Like it's just like Britain if they were even eviler during their during the period of uh, colonization and stuff like that. So you know what? It's not too. It's okay. Maybe that's not the best way to talk about it, but like, I mean, it's not too much different than everything that happened, right? Like, um, so it's and besides, you have something to come in, clean up the streets and stuff like that, and there's redevelopment, right? Like in villages, in areas that aren't that nice, they put these huge I'm trying to. It's good. They put huge metal structures in, and there's always opportunity to work as a guard, right? I mean, like those guards felt like flies, right? So it's not. I mean, to be fair, they were all large white men, so maybe they only choose large white men. But still, it's it's very clear that no matter who is in charge, that always something crappy happens. So it's and every once in a while you have someone come in and they take over and they change everything and they kill everyone, that, or they get rid of everyone, usually through assassination or assassination by proxy, which good Corvo did, and and there you go. That's a you got a nice, and besides, like I don't know why, but like I get it, like I'm sure the water around those places are absolutely disgusting, especially with all like the swords and all like the witchy stuff going on. But like I really like the water elevator. I remember like I liked the water elevator in those game in Dishonored so much. It's just a small water elevator part from the beginning that I always would try to recreate it in Minecraft, so I could make my boats go up water elevators and shit like that. And it was really silly because it was like, I didn't like it. Like I just it's so impractical. You just get a freaking. I mean, it's like it's like I guess I guess it's the same idea as a canal, except it's like 7 stories. Like, come on, man! Like they got stairs, like or actual elevators, right? So why spend all that time and resource to pump water through? It's just uncanny. I mean, like I would put that as a plus to living in that world, that there's water elevators. Except it seemed that it only existed in like the royal palace, So I definitely would not be a royal in Super Britain. So like that wouldn't that's not something I would be in. But and you can also like and like look at all like the powers and stuff you can get. Like again, once again, there's so many opportunities as an assassin as well. Like not just Corvo, but look at all the whalers and all the people like that. Lots of opportunity for people who throw away all their moral regard. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't even know what the universe is called. I just also find it funny that like somehow they've like super like they can like oil like it's just silly to think that like whale oil powers everything and that they run through it so much. It's just so silly. But and so like that's absolutely horrible in real life because hey kids, you know, take it from me, don't go and don't go and kill whales. Yeah, Kai told you so. But yeah, I just like it's just funny to me like whaling was already just like an absolutely like unsustainable practice, but the fact that like they've literally made their entire power economy like I could like imagine the entire industrial revolution, living off of whales. I mean, I think in that I think in their universe like whales are absolutely mammoth, like all whales are blue whale size or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played that game. But it's just like, man, what a crazy ass world where that's true. Yeah, so yeah, not saying I'd like to live in that world, but there's a pros and cons behind it. It's not as bad as everyone says, they. But let's see. Maybe I should actually talk about a nice place to live. I can't again. Like I play too many violent games to actually think of a nice place that I'd want to live. It's just not one of those things that I easily have. Hmm. Uh, I gotta mellow it out. I gotta transition with something good. Okay, fine. I guess. Hmm, man, I was gonna bring up Legend of Mana, which is I'm playing right now. Watch me stream it on on my schedule. It's on there. I was gonna say Sunday, but it'd be Sunday for me. I mean, I think it's Sunday for me, so I think it's Saturday or everyone else. Hmm, I forget, but I think yeah, because yeah, that's where I live. But anyway, so I I I was gonna say like the world of Legend of Mana might be nice, but like there's a lot of bad things that happen in that game. Like for it's oddly dark and there's no government and like if you die, you just end up in the shittiest place and your buddy can just come down and say, "Hey, how's hell?" And you're like, "Well, I just kind of sit here all day." So it's not really. I don't think that's exactly it. I don't. I was I was trying to think of like other RPGs that I mean other JRPGs that I would say I live in the world, but like most of the JRPGs I play these days are like I was gonna say Persona, but that's literally just you know Japan plus right. It's Japan, except crazy ass things happen in very specific areas, and we have to send kids to, which is it's fair. That's like most Japanese video games, right? You send in the kids. That's probably my favorite trope from like anime and shit like that. Is it like it's like oh shit, there's a war, better send in the kids. who else to who else to pilot our super mechs than 16-year-olds? Yeah, and then like I guess you know I think about that like oh man, God, what would be a good video game place to live in? Damn, I can't think of like there's no. I guess like damn, you can't even say Stardew Valley because Stardew Valley is literally just it's also just life plus. It's not too much different than how real life is. So it's like, ugh, boy, man, God, I gotta play more fanciful stuff that's also happy. I don't know. Oh God, I'm such. Do I really play that many horrible games that I wouldn't ever want to live in the world? Live in the world like Like the only places I live in are things that like are just real life plus. Let's see. God, what is there? Man. Ooh, I'm trying to think. I see. I have plenty. don't worry. I'm not running out of topics. I have plenty of bad games, bad worlds that I wouldn't want to live in, or want to justify living in, right? But actually good worlds that I would enjoy. Man, that's a tough one. Oh. Uh, Even like the most innocent ones. Like I was thinking, like the Atelier universe, because everyone's happy-go-lucky, but you sure kill a lot of things in, in that series, just to harvest their bones and shit like that. It's not meant. It's just like a cuter version of Monster Hunter, except you use every part of the buffalo. Let's see. Shoot. Hmm. Have I ever played anything that it would be really nice to live in? Like I think that's a philosophical question too. That a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people about this very subject, and every single time they always talk about worlds where you gotta kill people. I'm not saying that that sounds like a psychopath thing to say, right? But it's just like I, I don't know. I just like isn't that's like that's video games, right? Like when you want to live in the Fortnite universe, it's like you just shoot people all day, and then you dance on their corpses until there's one left, until there's no one left. It's not exactly a not exactly a pro thing to like a realistic thing you wanna focus on. Yeah. uh, Shoot. Man. If anyone watching wants to say, if you, as an idea of something nice, please put it down in chat because man, I can't think of anything right now that would be pleasant. Any place that would be pleasant to live in. Really. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just maybe I'm just pessimistic. I don't know, or maybe I played too many evil games. Shoot. Um. Skip it. Something. It's got to be something. You know what? I'm actually. I'm gonna really think about this because man, I don't. I guess I don't. Like I can't like. It's actually kind of crazy to me because I must really play bad things. Like I don't play or like bad or too realistic. I guess you would say if that's all like care about. Man, this oh god, this stream turned into what do video games relate to really, and why am I such a psychopath? Man, uh, why am I such a psychopath? That's a good question in general. Oh man. Let's see. Oh. This is not good. If I'm not a psycho. I'm not a psychopath. I swear. Oh man. Oh god. Ooh. You know what? Screw it. I'm actually gonna look. I'm gonna look in my library and see if I have anything fun, like anything that makes me happy, anything that like I would actually like to live in. Project Zombie? No, I wouldn't like to live in that. Um, let's see, Phasmophobia. I mean, that again, that's just like life plus. Pillars of Eternity? No, that wouldn't wouldn't do it either. Shoot. Oh, okay. Nope, not Mass Effect. I mean, I guess for a little while until the Reapers invade. Oh wow, come on, something's got to be good. Something here's got to be nice. Nice and lovely and not at all insane. Oh my god, Forest? No, I mean that's just evil life. It's crap. Oh no, oh no, I'm a psychopath. I only play evil shit. Dune? No, no, we'll talk about that one later. Uh, oh no. Oh god. Oh god. I play nothing but evil, but psychopath games. I play nothing but psychopath games. Oh no! Oh no! Oh god! I play nothing but psychopath games. Uh, oh shoot! 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 Shooty! Shoot! Shoot! Um. Uh. Wow. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna have to move on because holy shit, I'll just move on to like to saying the pros and stuff because man, because man, there really is nothing good I, I have around here. All right, so like let's talk about the pros of like living. All right, I mentioned shoot, well I mentioned what did I mention? Um, uh, Mass Effect. I might mention Mass Effect. Yeah, I mean that's also future Earth plus aliens. Yeah. So I mean it seems it seems like no matter what you do in the game, a lot of people just like go about their regular lives, right? So I guess that's not a bad way to live. Question mark. I mean, if it's just gonna, if you know, I mean, like, I guess if you know that you can't do shit to help the economy towards fighting the Reapers, that's not bad. But like, God, I just remember like so much of the this there seems to be a lot of great places. I mean, like obviously when the Reapers are coming, they could just come in and eat you. But like in general, I think besides the whole threat that comes every thousands and thousands of years, it's a pretty nice universe. I mean, it's okay. There, I guess sure, there's a lot of terrorist activity, and you literally can't travel anywhere in space without people destroying the hell out of you. And there's a lot of xenophobia, and even though there's a lot of gatekeeping, so but hey, that's not much different than real life, right? So, it's just real life plus cooler guns. I mean, you know, so so yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It could be better, but that's not what it's about. It's not about whether it could be better. It's about whether it is good, and that's yeah, sure, why not? Like, honestly, oh man, I'd like to like. Okay, this is gonna be a hot topic because a lot of people don't like Andromeda, but but the idea of being in like a cool scouting group for the next, not for the next not Earth will be kind of cool. Like, I'd like it. Like, I'd sign up. I mean, I wouldn't sign up to be the actual Pathfinders or whatever they were called because I have no skills in that situation whatsoever, and I'd just be nothing but a detriment, and everyone would hate me. But I would still, being part of a group like that, exploring a new source system or a new galaxy would be amazing. I guess it's not a new one. I mean, we've known about it, and it's just like before we like they chose a it's just like real life. They chose a place that was already inhabited by people. That was a smart move on their part, right? using stuff from using drone information from a bazillion years ago. Yeah, so yeah, I would like that's not too bad. Like I would kind of it's the cool idea of experiencing a new place that would a place that no one from your galaxy has been through. I'd like that. It's um there's that whole I don't know why they look down on, but there's that whole cool psychic thing. I mean, I know that everyone who does it is absolutely bonkers and stuff like that, and so maybe that wouldn't be a good job choice to have. But it's and there's slavery and well, that's with those batarian people and stuff like that. But like I don't know. It seems it's a good it's a good old camaraderie time there in old Mass Effect land. So don't and plus you got a lot of people with good heads on their shoulders. I don't know. I really want to know is that like because like you see glimpses of what the universe is like without the constant threat of death because obviously no one believes your ass for the until things are like until the third game like literally like they're about to sentence you and then suddenly like lasers come through and kill everyone. So obviously that's the name of the game. No one believes Commander Shepard until it's too late. But like there was it was still it's so you get a glimpse to see what people are like when there's no constant threat. But I wonder like I would hope at least maybe that's where the next game will take us. That I guess I'm gonna sound like a hippie. I guess maybe people learn to get along? Question mark. Now that the Reapers are gone, kinda, and and stuff like that. I guess it kind of did leave us on kind of a disappointing end. But there was still the Krogan are can be better. You can help the Krogan. You can do all that sorts of things, and so it seems like it's not. There's a lot of good possibilities that could happen in that universe in the future. So maybe not the worst place to be. Pre post or pre Reaper, but yeah, it might be an okay place now. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to think about that. Ooh, okay. Oof, man. Hmm. What other ones would be good? I always talk about how this. Um. Uh. Oof, man. God, I still am trying to think. I'm. It's bad. It's a bad situation. I'm trying to. I'm subconsciously trying not to talk about horrible places right now. But again, that's the name of the game. Uh, like, okay, well, okay. Well, what about like Fallout? We'll talk about Fallout. We're talking about big games right now. So, what about Fallout? Like, I like the thing about Fallout for me is that the game, like the games, and like I'm talking about, I'm gonna put take all the games, not just the Bethesda games, but all the games. It seems like it's such a the bad part about it is not like that the entire world sucks. It's just that there's huge disparities. I mean, like there is no consistency. I guess I would say, and I guess that's the worst part of the universe by far. Because like, sure, you'll be like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. It's just a hell. It's just like, there's some places like I'm in Fallout One and I think it might be Fallout. I don't know about Fallout One, but in Fallout Two, there's like the new California Republic, and you see parts of them in New Vegas, but not to the extent as you do in Fallout Two. And it's nice. Like they have like nice gardens. They actually use the Gek, which transforms areas into like terraforms areas and shit like that. And like it's absolutely beautiful. You get to have a nice little they have a nice little place. I mean, their politics are kind of weird, but like considering it's like you know super death alternate 50s future, they actually have a good one. And like they always talk about how like in the game how they have like how they are able to they're able to reach out to other people, like they reach out to the Rangers and stuff like that, the Arizona Rangers and all, or the what are they called, the Nevada Rangers in the game. I forget what they're called. So it's not so yeah. So they kind of help. They kind of have a stable thing a stable thing going on. They're not the best, but you know, here I am again talking about like regime, trying to go, oh, like, oh no, these regimes aren't too bad, man. But no, uh, I swear I'm not a shill. I'm not paid by the government. I'm just a poor streamer. Leave me alone. uh, um, but yeah. So yeah, there's nice things about it. Yeah, there's nice, and I certainly would want to live there. And obviously, if I was a man of dubious ethical practices, then I would say that working for like the governments that are trying to open up again, like, they have pretty cool setups too. I mean, you got and they have these huge dudes in power armor helping you, covering for them. It's amazing. It's a good it's a good setup, a good authoritarian setup. Yep. Yeah, a lot of. I'm identifying a lot of authoritarianism in this game, aren't I? In these games, aren't I? Well, I guess that's just the name of the game. Shoot, that is a lot of bad things that happen. But let's see what other ones. I mean, like hmm, what would be a good one? What have I played recently? That's not just like real world. Oh well, Cyberpunk. Okay, Cyberpunk. That's all. That's more futuristic now, right? Like the original Cyberpunk was like in 2023, I think. So obviously, it's not, it's a little, it's a little wrong about our technology. We're not. They forgot that people weren't like willing to spend money to actually give us high technology and stuff like that. But yeah, I think once again, like, I guess like Night City isn't too, like, Night City's pretty bad, but like, I don't know, as long as there's ways to survive it and not have a bad time, I guess. Like there seems to be a lot of places where just regular people serve food and stuff, and that's probably okay. I mean, and if I remember, like, the food is absolutely, like, disgusting. And again, once you get used to that, yeah. But I always wonder about life outside it as well. I mean, like, there's obviously a ton of cities outside, right? And I think that was one of the things that happened. So, like, they can't all be shit. I mean, like, there's gotta be. I gotta admit, like, some of those, like, the places outside Night City in Cyberpunk are really quite nice. I mean, like, yeah, you got it. There's always a chance someone will just roll in, rat tat 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 tat. But as I said before, I'm always, I brought this up before, and I'm going to bring it up again as evidence. If the world is already really horrible, you can get used to it. you know, it's like, it's, there's a lot of there's a lot of things in life that I've experienced that I think about that I just kind of take for granted, and then when other people like hear me talk about it, they're like, "Oh, that's horrible." Like I go, I want to. I'm always, it's like, I've been pulled over like 30 times, and people are like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, what were you doing? I'm like, well, just driving. And it's like, and well, you must have been breaking the law. I'm like, nope, just happens, I guess. And then other people are like, oh, I've never been pulled over. I've never been scared of that. And it's like, oh, wow. Okay. So there's a lot of things that you can easily get used to. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to like it. So yeah, I mean, sure. Like, I think the best part of those games is, that I don't want to say illusion, because in the game you are usually making, sometimes you are making a difference. I mean, there's, I guess, I don't know. I guess that's something to say too. I mean, like, maybe now that I think about it, it might be an illusion, because to be honest, like, in most of these games, you're not actually making a difference in like the short term of it. Like, uh, I think about it, like you're not. You're definitely doing something. Like it's usually like, oh, um, oh, I there there's an evil wizard, so I gotta help defeat the evil wizard, right? That's obvious. Obviously, like if the evil wizard is gonna destroy the world or something. Okay, oh yeah, that's something you want to happen, not to happen. So defeating him, yeah, it'll definitely help you out, and a lot of people, and help a lot of people out. But like at the end of the day, it's like you're not actually, you're not changing anything about society. You're not changing about how to think things. All you're doing is changing, like there to be mass death to like not be mass. So you're, and that, which is not bad. It's not like it's a bad thing that you're saving the world or this one area from huge disaster. But then everything just goes back to the way it was. You got, um, nothing really changes, and nothing else matters. But yeah. So I guess that's, huh. So I guess that's, and that's why I kind of like, I can I know that, like, I think I kind of like Fallout in that respect. If we want to go back to that, this could be a whole nother this could be a whole nother question for another day. But basically, yeah, like you know you're not changing anything. You're in these things. All you're doing is just kind of pushing along until everything is a lot until everything, like at your current moment, is better, right? But as I said, Fallout. I do like Fallout because, like, I don't, I guess I never played 4 enough. I never beat 4 because I got over it really fast, and also, like, I got really obsessed with building. I love building things in games, and like I couldn't help making a bazillion communities. And then, what's his name? The Minuteman dude. He'd always go, "Another settlement needs your help," and so I just always be helping settlements all day instead of actually, saving people. And I don't even, I know how the story goes and everything like that because of spoilers, and because I go on the internet, so it's hard not to see spoilers. But I know that in all the old Fallout games, um, the ending is like, there's an ending for each, like, major area that you go to, right? And so it's like, did you decide to dispose of this tyrant in this one town? Did you get the drinking water nice in this town? And it shows you, like, and you get like a different name for each town. I always like that better than the actual endings of the Fallout game. I mean, like, yeah, so that writing is always good. You're actually making some sort of difference, for good or for bad. You make some sort of difference. And so in that I would say, even that's one of those things where I argue about, like, the ending, whether choices matter. I think that that's one of the things that a lot of game writers get wrong, is that the choice, when we want choices to matter in game, like, I know a lot of people go for the, oh, you know if I decide to go and not, like, if I don't go down path A, then that'll lead to ending A, you know, and that's I think how a lot of people write. Choices matter when it comes to games. You make a change, and it leads to a different ending, or you like unlock a different ending by doing stuff. But I don't think that's how it should work. I think I think the thing that helps make a good change is, like, things where we that it doesn't affect an entire ending. Like, it doesn't, like, there's not one huge ending. Like, if you decided to kill 5 people here and then save one person, it's not gonna go like, oh, those 5 people were on the evil counter, so you're gonna get the evil ending because you were slightly evil, or no, it should be like, where did I kill those 5 people? Did I kill them in a clinic? Well, then maybe the clinic unfortunately has like an outbreak now, and that's my fault. That's how that ending goes. But it doesn't. But it doesn't affect the overall plot. Maybe there's a small thing that butterfly affects it, but like, I think that like when choices matter, I think choices should matter in how the world is perceived, how that, how much your choices actually affect the world around it. Um, I know that like I know that that was how I liked Dragon Age Origins, and even two, like not so much Inquisition, but like little things you did in the game affected like little things in the game, and that's micro. Your choices don't usually in real life. And how I think things should be in general. Your choices don't usually affect like everything that's going to happen. I mean, there's just no possible way. I mean, it might in some proxy way, but that's just not something that you can easily figure out. So I mean, that would be so. It should have a micro consequence. Even if it, like, oh yeah, and going back to Mass Effect too. Like, I remember the guy. Was it this? It's something like if you send this dead woman's corpse to her husband. I can't remember if he does it later in game or like in the next game, but he like stops you and thanks you and stuff like that. And that's the kind of stuff that I like. I like so I that's what I think approaches the game. I know that rather than just picking the one of three endings to have based on an arbitrary choice. I mean that for a simpler game maybe that's cool, but for a game that purports choices matter, that's a big that's a big no, because then your choices did not matter. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Hmm. What other? What other regimes could I help talk about? Let's see. Hmm. Okay. I mean, I'll go this route because I do like I do like anime manga. I'll bring up like Sword Art Online just because like it was short. It was a short time, but people did have to live in that world in that series. So like I think it's important to so it's obviously something was it was livable. Like people had to do things, and like I think that was one of the strengths of the series that you could is that it showed the different ways people learn to live in it. I mean, I was actually very staggered by that. Like of course for most of the time we're following the protagonists and the people around and then the people directly around them. So you have the people who help them raid, the people who help them fight, but then like I love like when they start getting into the romantic romance section of Sword Art Online, they start to like show they start to show cool things like there's some kids who got past the age barrier. Maybe there was no age barrier. I don't know, and they can't live in a death world. They're like 10, right? And it would be horrible to make them live it. So there's a place where people raise them and stuff like that. And then there's like ones where like and then there's like people who like go, oh, the only way to live here is to create discipline. So they create like an army, and the army talks, is willing to sacrifice themselves to do things. And it's like, no, but that's it's a game. And so and it seems like in that one, like I couldn't, I guess because I'm not a coward, I guess, but like I don't I would have a hard time, you know, like I would that whole situation would just blow me away. Like I just like the fact that they actually were in that. I don't know because obviously I've never experienced. There's no such thing as full dive right now, so I don't know what it's like. But like, man, living like it's just funny to think that like when they're in like when they're eating a meal or something together in real life, they're just like pooping in a diaper. because they can't, because they're strapped to the machine and stuff like that. And so it's like I I think it would be like the way that the gate like it was set up. I don't I'm never like the forefront of the fighting in games anyway. In terms of multiplayer games, I always like to explore the other aspects. So I think like I could definitely live in that one as like a trader or something like that one lady who was like a blacksmith. I mean, she still like went to some horrible places to get all her stuff, but that doesn't mean. But it's something. I mean, but it is something that I could see myself doing. Um, which is kind of I know it's weird to think about because obviously, um, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird uh, to think of something like that actually happening. But I have I couldn't say for certain if I could actually do it or not. But I mean, I it's I could do it. I could live it. I could if the hardest part for me would be getting at over the fucking existential dread. Like it's that would be that's definitely the hardest part for me to get over in that universe is that like I don't know like just knowing that like there's just knowing like the realism of the situation that you're just like you're just like in a coma, right, essentially, and there's people outside looking at you and hopefully taking care of you like that. I mean, I still find it absolutely insane that they still had separate like medical medical care for different people depending on who they were. I still find that extremely funny in a bad way because I could see that happening. But like getting over the existential dread about being in that world would be definitely the hardest part for me. I mean, I don't know. Like I really don't. Like that's absolutely horrifying to me because uh, I would probably have one. I'm not the most stable individual, so I probably have a couple, a couple breakdowns here and there. Just going like I'd totally be horrible. I just like, right in the middle. I just go, guys, you realize we're just like in bed, man, and then like, and there's and we're just stuck in here, man. And I would, I'd totally ruin the situation for everyone ever and try and freak out. But that's, I mean, you never know. Maybe I could get over it eventually. If I were to get over it, there's definitely ways to survive to live in that universe. So it's not like I'm stuck in the forever death times. I'm not in the forever death game. I do like I guess like would make it easier. This is going a little bit out of because you know I put Stride Online there because they do obviously they do have like video game versions in itself as a video game. Um, there's but there other than that like there are like there are other manga and stuff like that because I'm getting out of the video game thing that do explore more into that type of death game idea. And God, I'm really horrible at Japanese manga names just because they're always so long. But I know that one of the ones that I really liked, it was like they had NPCs that were like real people as well, or like not real people, but like they had a very high AI and stuff, and that I think that's like one of the ways to help to help people keep sane, because like even though they don't have a will, it's still something that kind of responds to you. It's like talking to a chat bot, it's like you got something, and as long as you have something to talk to, it really helps you get the edge off the situation. Even if it's just like an NPC animal or something like that, then it then that kind of thing can really help you get out of this get out of a horrible situation that you feel like you're in. It just it's I'll breaking what I'm talking about for just a second. A real thing that I believe in is that you know there are some people are are going to need someone to someone to talk to, and if they don't have anyone to talk to, maybe an AI, or me, or someone like me. Yeah, like, wouldn't you like me to talk to you if you had no one else to talk to? I would just talk. I'll just drone on and all day, and I'll never stop talking to you. I'll be here forever and ever and ever. And then talk to you. But it's one of those things. Like, if someone can't physically be able to talk to them, like, maybe they can talk to someone through the screen or something like that. And so I think that's part of what would make them feel better is having those NPCs to talk to. Maybe I'm forgetting wrong. Maybe there was NPCs in Sword Art Online, but I don't remember there being human NPC or not human, because there's more than this. People NPCs, I guess you would say. But I forget. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and I didn't watch. I did finish the second. I did finish the other seasons. I didn't finish. I didn't watch the gun one, but I did watch the fairy one, so that was interesting. I just felt it weird that it kept on going and going and going. There kept on being more of these death games, right? You think they would stop? Um, but yeah, that I could still see myself living in one of those worlds if I could, if I had to. I it's there's a you know prime opportunity out there, right? Yeah. Hmm. Let's think of another one. Let's see. Let me go through my library again and see something. Um, Something different. I mean, I feel like I talk about zombie game, like I've played zombie games so much to actually want to talk about them in a real context. Uh, okay, well, shit. I'll say it. I'm a fan of this series, like the Warhammer 40k. We'll say Warhammer 40k. Like, I'll talk about Warhammer in a bit, but let's start with Warhammer 40k. The grim dark future where there's always war. Like, I think, like, the thing that one for is that, like, that one is like when I found, like, 40,000 years in the future is already like bananas to think about. But, like, the fact it's just like, but again, once again, it's just like the disparity. It's just what I think with a lot of, like, a lot of game universes. It's the disparity between places that really gets to you. I mean, like, in Warhammer, you're either like a super slave, like, you never see the sun, right? You work and toil. You're just part of a cog in a machine, or, like, you could possibly live on a great world where everyone's nice. And, like, it's people. Some people go like, "Oh, be a space marine or something," but no, like, they're made that way. Like, you can't just easily become a space marine. Like, things have to happen for you to become a space marine. Uh, you know, you talk about, like, people, and even that is something, like, even if we're talking, like, that's just being as a human, right? Like, and even then, like, no matter what happens, you could all like the emperor's inquisitors could always decide to go, oh, you know what, this planet looks a little weird, let's kill everyone on it, and approve killing everyone on the entire planet, because that's just what they do. And then, of course, if you're born with psychic powers, then you could be fed to the emperor, right? Or be taken over by demons. It's like this. It's such a roll to die in that universe. Like, whether you'll have a nice life or not. I mean, like, you can't, like, I feel like you can't, like, the big one is like, it's all based on how you were born. Like there's very few ways to get social mobility, right? Like the only common thing I can think of is that you can join the Imperial Guard, but they have such a high turnover rate of dying. That's like like it's just like you could have a better life, I guess, but like you could just be squished at any second by like an ogre or something like that, right? Um, I guess like if we don't talk about the humans, like sorry, the Tau, they're supposed to have like a really cool society. They have allies from different races, but like they have a straight up caste system, and it's like, bro, why would I like? Again, it's exactly the same. You're just born. You're born into like the situation the situation you're born into dictates the rest of your existence over there too. So it's like, man, I know that like you could argue that somewhat in real life. Like obviously there's a lot of people who have better circumstances and worse circumstances than everyone, but there's still like the possibility for a decent amount of people to gain upward mobility, right? Where it just seems like in those universes there's absolutely no chance you could ever know, like what you're born in is exactly what you're gonna die in. Like even though there's like infinite amount of places there. I mean, again, there is supposed to be some places that are a little nicer where you could kind of do that, but then like it. I think that disparity also is why like I mentioned before. You know, I consider if something is bad, if there's something really bad, if there's a threat that always happens no matter what, where you are, that makes the place more bearable to live, right? But I don't think that's the same in Warhammer because there's such a vast amount of different things that could possibly happen or that may never happen that every time something does happen, it is a big deal. Like a place could never be attacked by demons, then one day demons attack. It's not something that constantly happens. So that's not the same. It's like it's some things are rare. There's so many places these things could happen that when it happens it is rare. So it's not. So that is being under constant threat is an absolutely horrible thing. Not to mention so even in the places that are kind of okay, there's always constant threat. I mean, no one like, good lord, like no one is really you could never really be happy in that universe, right? Like when something could happen or it couldn't happen, like you just and it would literally it would really take a second for demons to come and take over your magistrate, and then like your entire world becomes full of warp, right? Like like it's just not it's just one of those things that isn't gonna ever go away. Mm, so that yeah, that would be a truly horrible one. Like I guess again you could argue that like they have a lot of freedom. There's a lot of places with a lot of freedom, but you have to be willing to do some pretty horrible things to get that freedom. I mean, like I think that was like it seems like the whole point of that series is to show you like the meaner you are, the greater things happen in your way, right? Like even the emperor is like every all of his stuff has been corrupted by the lords of Terra, he like so literally everything that he decided to do is completely trashed and and like and that they have to and so nothing that he chose to happen, nothing that he chose to try and save humanity actually matters because humanity has completely destroyed itself and made people who should be on and put people on high positions that shouldn't be in high positions. So it's like, see, not even being the emperor was a good idea. Oh man, dude. And the same the same thing happens with like the same thing I think about is with the regular universe, not the 40k, the Warhammer universe, because like I think that one's even that like I would say that like again going back to the something like bad stuff happen all the time, but I think with that one, even though like it's a smaller area, there's just so many things that can kill you in that world, that it's like it's absolutely heartbreaking to want to live in that world. Like you could be just like a simple farmer, and like one of 10 billion things can kill you. Maybe the elves aren't happy that you're plowing a certain plant, and so they come up and they kill you. Or maybe another group of elves think that your flesh looks especially good on their wall, so they want to take it. And then, or maybe another group of elves thinks that you're that you're disrespecting this tradition that was made 5,000 years ago, so they kill you. And then even and that's just like the ally, your allies, right? Like a rat could a 6 foot rat could come out of the ground and eat your face off, right? Or like a big bull could come out of the woods and stomp you to death. Or a bull with 3 heads could come out and stomp you to death. Or like a big pink monster can come up and like tickle you and then kill you because they want to see both your reactions, right? It's just it's mad. There's like there's so much stuff happening that it's like it'll never you just never it's never gonna get better. It's never gonna get better. It's just gonna be death, death, death all day long. So you might as well, yeah, I'd say you might as well get used to it. But man, there's no getting used to that, man. It's like fuck. That's like we're so screwed. So I like that. Yeah, no, I couldn't live in that universe. Like nobody has a good time. Like even the people who are really high up, like there's always something that can destroy the whole city. So even if you're rich, it doesn't mean you're gonna live a comfortable life, right? At least not a very long, comfortable life. Oh my god. Let's see. Hmm. Oh boy. Let me think of an. Let's look at another one too. What do I have here? Uh, Again, more stuff that is absolutely horrible to live in that you never want to live in. Man. Huh. Shadowrun is basically the same. I would say the same problems as Cyberpunk. So, yeah. uh, hmm. Oh, okay. Well, why not? I'll talk about Middle Earth. I mean, yeah, it's a franchise, but screw it. I have video games about Middle Earth, so you know what? I'm gonna do it. Uh, I don't know, like I think the thing about Middle Earth for me is that it always feels like the whole world is just in decay. Like no matter what happens, like it seems like everything cool happened a bazillion years ago, and we're just like and we're just like doing it. But even like a bazillion years ago, it's still like everything cool happened, and so nothing is ever perfect as it used to be, right? Like no matter what happens, it's always things were never as good as it used to be, even like 20 years ago. In the thing. So it's almost like when is any so like you could live a regular birth because like sure like the whole orcs suddenly so there's suddenly being a lot of orcs and stuff that was very based on the times that they were in, right? Because of the rings and stuff like that. But like it's like it just seems like nothing ever gets better in the Lord of the Rings universe. Like it all everything just like goes towards an eventual like death of everything. Like there's no advancement. Even when there is advancement, it never seems like it's the right kind of advancement. I guess. I mean, I know technically, I think they said that eventually it becomes us, but it seems like we sure lost a lot to get to that point, right? So it's not like there's not a whole lot of plus signs coming from that kind of stuff thing in the end. Um, Shoot. So I yeah. Once again, like I don't think I'd like to. I wouldn't like to live. I mean, and I'm sorry, but like living as an elf seems boring as fuck. Like they just like okay, they live a simple lifestyle, but they're always Like they always, they I don't know. They're very like they seem to be very judgmental without ever actually doing anything, you know. And so like they all like, and again, they seem to they're in, they're in decline in most of the series, right? So it's like they're not as cool as they used to be, and being a human could be okay, but like they're always at war as well. Like, you know, and so like so even if you're not like even if you're living a regular life, they still always seem at war or something. I don't know. Maybe Aragon brought peace when he became king, but it seems like it was just like I don't know. I read once what happens afterwards, and it seems like it seems like the only thing you really could be happy is being a hobbit, and not and like obviously a hobbit in a very specific time, because obviously, because at least in the books at least, even the hobbit, they're I always found that the funniest about the movies is that's a big retcon. It's like it's like they go on this huge adventure and they come home and everything's fine and everything's the same. I guess narratively that's kind of funny, considering how showing how small of a world the hobbits live in. But at the same time, it was pretty silly as well. When in the books it's like they come home and everything is on fire and shit, like, and there's a fucking totalitarian orc regime that's taken over and stuff like that. So that's that's funny. But I guess besides those points, living like a hobbit seemed pretty fun. I mean, they work all day, but they like working. So hell, if you like shit, if you like farming, I mean, I don't think I'd like real farming, but I like farming in video games. So what the hell? Maybe if I was a hobbit and like farming, then I'd have a good field and make good beer and dance and stuff like all and then smoke some pipe weed at night. Yeah, why not, right? Like if they do it, it's got to be cool, right? Um, but then yeah, so because like I don't know, because like it seems like the dwarves are always busy on and kind of they're kind of cool together, but I don't know, they just don't seem as cool as the hobbits can be. So yeah, I think if I was a hobbit in most time periods, I think I'd be able to live in that universe. I mean, that's also like being blissfully aware about the ongoings of the big people's world. But that's how it is. Uh, oh man, oh, bro. Let's see what else we got here. I guess I'll bring it up because it's a big game and it's a game that I've played quite a bit in the past. Maybe one day in the future, but Minecraft, like the Minecraft world. I mean it's weird to me because it's such a creative game, and it's such a game about what you make it that it's weird to talk about living in it. But this is my stream and I can do what I want, and I want to talk about Minecraft. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think that you know utility is one funny thing. Like once again, like everything can kill you in the game, but I think the utility of being able to turn everything into a block is kind of cool. I remember there was a manga about that where the dude just runs over to a big rock in the road and he just goes blip 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 blip, and they turn into a bunch of like cubes, and then he just puts them in his back and he throws them out to people, and they're like, "How do you make these cubes?" And he's like, "Man, I don't know." And so, also in this weird pseudo world where obsidian isn't glass, it's like a strong material. That's kind of funny too, because man, it's pretty easy to make once you get it. Of course, there's all the things that can kill you and all that kind of shit, so that's not always fun. But I think comparatively to other worlds, if we're talking about Minecraft in hardcore mode, then yeah, okay, I'm dead the first night, right? But if we're talking about regular mode, I can survive a while. I could survive in that world a while without succumbing to death, right? Um, Again, not likely to happen if I wasn't real, and if it was real, but if it was unreal life. And besides, like just being able to craft in the game, like using simple things with that. I guess like it's not fair because like you can just look it up. Being able to know that you can craft things just by putting them together without and just make them in a second seems kind of fun as well. I just see it's like simplified survival, right? You get to you have to work your way up, but you don't have to gain the skills to do it. You just automatically can do it, and I think that would make it a lot of fun. At the same time, fuck creepers. Like, I don't like that. That would definitely destroy it for me. I don't think I could like serve. I don't know. Like that would make my paranoid gland go up through the roof. Like like just regularly like I don't know. It's like I'm never paranoid about creepers because I just forget about them. I mean that's what they're for. They're creepers. It's easy to forget about them, and so I mean I don't know. I feel like in real life, but in real life I feel like I would actually freak the fuck out. Like I would not be chill about creepers. I'd be like, man, again, going back into my weird mind. I go, man, they're just everywhere, man. They're in the trees. You never see them coming, dude. And so I would not, no, I would not survive that. It just won't happen. I'm sorry. But again, it's the coward part, the coward part. I just, I would not. No, that's a no. That's a no for me, dog. uh, uh, so like knowing the creepers were in the world would just be, and also like they're pretty big, you know, like they're pretty large, right? So knowing that something that big is out to get me, or is ready to really take me down, it's like ugh, ugh. And just that they could blow my shit to hell. Ugh. No, that's a no. That's a no for me. Like that's, but so and just like knowing that like the world never really ends and there's no one out there, and especially with like the ending that happens and all that kind of stuff. Well, I guess the villagers, but you can't talk to them. You know, even being with a friend, like it has vibes for me. Like even with friends, it's almost like you're the last people on Earth, right? And that's the vibes that really get me. Like those kinds of things, lonely ass people. Like there's something comforting if you're with a friend like that. But then the idea of there never being anything past that, it's almost like a feeling of death before you're dead, right? It's like, ugh, not nothing's gonna ever happen. We're just gonna be stuck in this place, and eventually we'll just get bored, But if it was real, you couldn't just quit, right? You couldn't just quit and take a hiatus. You'd literally be stuck in this hell for the rest of your life. So maybe secretly, oh man, that's my game theory. Unless someone made a game theory about this before, then I feel stupid. But like, it's like in the end, the whole thing is just purgatory, and we have to live with all the dead who have been there and gotten bored. Maybe the skeletons are people who got bored too quickly, and they have to survive. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there, but it's food for thought. About it's like that because I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there right now, trying to make sense of it all. Uh, but yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's interesting to think about, like, because I don't think that's like I don't think that's I don't think that's the feeling of most survival games. I guess you would say. I think that's the feeling that a lot of survival games are trying to go for. But I don't think that's like I don't think like anything. So like I think Minecraft has a special place where it really like the feeling of isolation, but having all this creativity in an isolated world, us is something that they do that I don't think anyone else can do. But it's whatever. It is what it is. Not everyone can make a super game. I mean, and again, like, it's totally looking into it too much. Like, that's definitely not what was meant to be. But that's what it feels like because it is a big empty nothing. It's a void. There's nothing there. There's not. You're never gonna see more than what you see than what you decide to see. You can eventually. You can eventually see all the lands and all the lands and the basic what do you call it, the basic structure of the place will change. You'll have, sometimes you'll get a mushroom by it, but sorry, the land formations will always be random, but the places itself will never be different. You'll never get more than a mushroom biome and a snow biome. I mean, maybe in the game there'll be more and more happen, but you never. And the game slowly adds more stuff to it over time. And if you want to spend money, you can buy even more. But realistically, like, nothing actually changes. So what is there to do? What is there to do? You can't do anything because you're stuck. So yeah, God, man, that got really philosophical. But yeah, I guess that's what I feel like. You know, and the issue is, and I'll move into more survival games like Ark. Like, I don't know, like Ark seems like Ark seems like it would be hard. Like, I mean, that's the point, right? It's gonna be hard, but it just seems like it's like everything in it is made to kill you, and like and I can see like an Ark 2 if you have a big tribe, yeah, you could possibly do it, but it just seems like there's always something that can possibly come up and just take your face off at the any moment. I mean, they're dinosaurs; they weren't meant to be it. But not even that. Like when they start adding stuff like giant ass birds that can come and kill you, like that changed the whole factor for me. It's like yeah, you're no matter how strong you are, you ain't beating a big at. You ain't surviving a 6 foot bird. You're gonna have to have help to do that coming down, especially in the time while you're freezing to death, right? Like that's just not something plausible. I mean, I hate flying enemies in games in general because it's like you're just because like that like there is a way to defeat them, but you have to eventually unlock it and stuff like that. You can't just defeat them right away, so you just have to take it from people until you just have to take it from them until you can actually do anything about it. But easier said than done, right? uh, man, oh, my back hurts. You don't need to know that, but uh, oh my god. There we go. So yeah, yeah, I mean that's how it is, right? Like any of those survival games, like I guess the idea in the game is to try and survive in the world, right? But nah, it's like, man, I don't know. Like I can't. They're all just I die plenty in those games, so I don't think I would like to live in them. I like I've said this before, but like I'm a I don't think I could sit unless I was prepared to survive somewhere. I wouldn't be able to survive. I couldn't just be thrown into a place and survive. I would I would try my best. I would try my best. I'm doing my best, but I don't think I could ever actually do it. It just wasn't. I'm not made to. I'm not made to be all survival. I mean, again, who knows? Maybe I'll surprise myself and just be one of those dudes who like comes out and snap a deer's neck and like put its blood on my face and and draw symbols and shit like that. And so maybe that is something that's gonna happen in my future, and then I'll come back and I'll go like, guys, I actually did it, and I no longer like the taste of cooked meat, just raw. But who knows? Like maybe that won't. Maybe that I doubt that will happen anytime soon, as far as I know. um, I you know part of that part of that silliness is just like, again, in that same situation, knowing that I could craft something easily in a game, that makes it all the much easier. Um, uh, yeah. So, what else can I? What else ones I could think about? Feel free to put one in chat if you can. Uh, let's see. While I look for another one that I could possibly think about. Let's see. I'm trying to think of things that I used to play as well that might be applicable in this kind of thing because there's I brought up Fable and stuff. Obviously, that was something that isn't really played anymore. So Hmm. Oof. I guess I'll bring up Monster Hunter because it's in any hunting games really any 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 world like Monster Hunter itself seems cool because you got I mean I like the technology like you got those really cool you got this really cool palico that like to cook and shit like that and they make them some food so good that you just want to jump into the screen and eat it. So so having a war with them is kind of cool because and it seems like the technology and stuff. I mean like there seems to obviously there's freaking there's monsters to hunt and there's guilds that'll help you do it right like start you off from the beginning without I guess you start off with a weapon so you had to have I don't know how you got that right and they usually give you some place to stay for free right so that's actually kind of so you'd think that would be a cool place to live right well no because like I think one of the things about it being a game is that you don't have to eat. You don't have to pay rent, right? In those games, if you did, if that was a game, if they were enforced like eating and renting, like you eat for profit, right? You eat and it gives you a cool boost when you're playing the game. But if you actually had to eat and shit, like man, think about how much money you'd be wasting, like that like money in that game like you have to go after the big boys you have to do extra shit and you have to just constantly just wipe out wildlife. I mean I always bring up like to make anything cool you have to kill like five or something right like I couldn't like imagine in real life if you wanted like a coat and so you kill five deer. Now I'm gonna say I know that in real life there are things like that like when I found out like I'll read the scene in case you don't know this. It's very funny, but I found out like rabbit skin blankets that like the indigenous groups in like the Great Basin of America in the United States. Like when I found out how they make like a rabbit blanket, you think like because like I was thinking like how many rabbits do you need to like make a blanket, right? And it was like, oh, okay, you probably need like I don't know. The rabbits are pretty small, so maybe 20, 30. No, no, no. They they don't stretch them out like you think they do. No, they make they make like ropes out of the rabbit skins, and then they sew the ropes together to make a blanket, which would obviously make it incredibly warm, which makes sense. It gets cold over there, but it's just like it's so Monster Hunter esque, like you have to like someone goes, I need a blanket, and you go, okay, I'll kill 300 of these animals. I should be able to make a blanket. I'm not gonna use any. I'm only you get like that would get so frustrating, right? Like if you killed one if you killed one like one lizard and just one single bone popped out and you're like well shit I guess to make a necklace, I need to kill 10 more of these dudes. What was, there was a, what was it? What's the name of that the YouTube channel? Viva la Dirt League. Those guys are hilarious, and like, I remember like they had a skit recently where it's like they kill like five boars and they have to harvest their hearts, and the dude just reaches in and he goes, this boar has no heart. This boar doesn't have a heart either. How are they not have hearts? They're boars. They need hearts to live. Why don't they have hearts? And then he finds like a chair in one of them too, because it's a random drop. I just love that kind of thing. It's just one of those things that I absolutely find hilarious. I don't know, like yeah. So yeah, that's like, in any of those fantasy world, in any of those fantasy worlds where you have to do that. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like it's just I couldn't handle it. Like I couldn't just break into a um I couldn't just like kill a boar and get nothing. That would just ruin me. That would like it's one of those like cost to ratio, like in real life you get tired from doing shit like this. So if you spent the entire like if you spent all this time risking your life killing a boar and like a single tusk falls off the boar, that's all you can have. You can't use its meat or anything like that. It's like nah man, I can't do it. So yeah, it just wouldn't be worth it for me. Oh well, man. I had a long day today, and I can't really think of much more now. And I think I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to okay, I don't want to defend more authoritarian regimes. So I think I'm going to sign off a little earlier than I usually do for these. And if you're watching, thanks for watching. If you're not following me, please follow me. Thank you very much. Yeah, I hope this was a good that was a good question. I had a fun time doing it, and yeah, I will talk to everyone later. Bye.